the first time I'm going to get a chance to use these things. I got them in a little while ago. Some of you might have seen it there in the background, but I'm sure a lot of you know what race ramps are, right? These are the wheel cribs that they make. These ones here I bought specifically for this car here. You know, it's got some monster rear tires on it, and I wanted something to actually fit it a little better. Well, your standard race ramps, wheel cribs, you know, they're usually one piece. Well, I bought the two-piece set. Okay, and I also bought the one that's actually designed for what they call their supercar series wheel cribs. They're 16 inches wide. Okay, I got an 18, at least according to the sidewall, it's a 29 by 18 rear tire on that car. So these here will fit that car a lot better than your skinnier race ramps. The reason I got the two-piece one is so you have a choice on how high you want the car, either 7 inches or 14 total. I do know that if I use the second one here, that my nose on this car might touch if I don't have anything under the front of it, but we'll have to be careful with that. But one thing a lot of people may not know is that if you just use just that for the rear, and then you can use this other one for the front, you can actually get all 4 wheels up off the ground. So that's why I bought it. That's like dual purpose. So if I want the whole car up, I got 4 blocks. You can use them separate, or you can put them together, use them like that. So I'm gonna give this a shot. This will be the first time I try this out on this car. I have a feeling I'm about to use 2 different jacks to get this done. This jack isn't that big. Just going to give you guys a look at how much room that gives me, and that's just with 1 block. I believe that's 7 inches up off the ground right there. So I think I measured that when I first got them. That's actually like 1 inch taller than my regular car ramps. So this gets it up high enough for me to get my fat butt under here. So that's actually pretty decent. But I'm gonna go ahead and try the second block and see how well that works out. And the only way I'm going to accomplish that is by using my other jack. For the guys that's not familiar, this is the Badlands jack that you can get from Harbor Freight. If you're in the market for a decent jack, especially if you got a 4-wheel drive, I definitely like this jack. It's got the extension on the end, and even the extension extends up even further if I need it to. But I don't think I'll need it on this one. I guess we'll have to try it and see. But I do know I got enough height with this one to get this car up as high as I need to. But this thing is built like a tank. I definitely like it, and I like these wheels. I've actually wheeled this out in the gravel. It does just fine. It's not like those other jacks where they get stuck on a zip tie or whatever. This thing's actually a fairly decent one. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a try and get that other block underneath here. That nose doesn't touch the ground. This car's got that air dam on it. Alright guys, there she is. Got both blocks underneath here. I'll tell you what, I think I'm about to end up putting a bar up underneath the rear end and maybe make something for the jack that's like a U shape, almost like a pro jack. We grab a car, just because when I get this angle going, the jack doesn't sit flat on the rear end, so it makes the guy a little nervous. But the plate I was telling you about, it's clear up there in the front, and if you look, it's actually touching the garage floor. So that's what I was worried about, but it's on there. And again guys, these are the supercar versions. They're 16 inches wide and 14 inches tall when you use both blocks together. And you see it fits this car pretty good. And just to give you guys a view of the side here, look at that. See, this is another part I was getting a little nervous about. Look at that. I don't know if I can, yeah, my boot won't even fit up underneath there, so she is on the ground there in the front. But you know, if I'm doing a lot of work up underneath there, I'll probably have the front sitting up on my ramps and then have nose under the back. But yeah, there's a lot of room up underneath there. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to get up underneath there and I'm going to change out one of my transmission filter, this time for a service. And I'm actually going to upgrade it a little bit. You guys see here I got the Napa Gold. This is just a Ford filter, but I got the big one. That monster. I got your standard Ford filter on there, and I'm just going to increase the size of it so it'll hold more fluid. This here will hopefully hold, I don't know, an extra quart, maybe 3/4 quart of transmission fluid, more than the other one, and that'll hopefully keep the transmission just a little cooler on them hot days. So I'm gonna get up under here and get that changed out, and I'm gonna show you a little thing, a few things up underneath this car. Okay guys, we're up under the car now. You'll notice this car, it's a ladder bar car. Got old school ladder bars on it. I got my transmission cooler right there, and I have a remote mounted transmission filter that I have 3 filter mags stuck to right there. And again, that's the standard size one. I'm going to increase that one. Again, I'm hoping to add a little bit of capacity to the transmission. At least in my head, when you put a remote mounted transmission filter in there, you gain capacity and you gain filtration. So it's like a double whammy. So I do have a larger filter. I'm gonna end up switching that out for. Okay, and I'm still gonna put those magnets on it. I might even see if one of those magnets will fit on the turbo car, but I think these filters are bigger in diameter than the other one. But yeah, give you guys a look. Can't really see anything up in there. I'll turn the light on. And I'll be trying to put up a let's see if you can see it there. I'm trying to put that a fuel line shut off right up in here. I'm hoping I have enough room, but that's a lot tighter than I remember. But we'll take a peek at it here in a little bit. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Oh man, those magnets really stick. If you guys never seen these, they're just magnets. They snap on your oil filter, and so far I haven't lost one. I've had this one here. You can see it's starting to rust. But I've had this for well over 10 years, probably closer to 15. But they do work. A little expensive. And the best thing is to try to get them off. You just slide them off, because trying to pull them, literally trying to lift them straight off of there is almost impossible. Unless I'm weak or something, I don't know. This here's the big one. I don't remember what I paid for that one, but I do remember they advertised something like a 600-pound pull rating. Like if you was to pull this straight up off of metal, it would take 600 pounds of force. Something like that. Anyway, that's a bunch. Dang, I tightened that up. Gotta go grab my filter wrench. I got that on there pretty good. There it goes. A lot easier with the wrench. I do have my drain pan down here because this is probably gonna leave a mess. I knew I was going to drop that. It gets slippery when it gets wet. Well, at least I caught it in a pan. Alright. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen remote transmission filter like that. Now you can also use that as a remote oil filter. It's plumbed on both sides. It comes with a really neat mounting bracket. It's a Mishimoto brand. It's actually a really nice unit. You know, there's a lot of stuff made over in China that, you know, I don't like, but Mishimoto brand seems to be a halfway decent brand. I also have a oil cooler made by Mishimoto on this car, and so far no complaints out of it. So if you guys want to know what that is, it's a Mishimoto remote mount oil filter. But again, you can use it for transmissions, you can use it for oil. They got some humongous screw-in bungs on this one, so you run pretty much whatever size you want on it. So it's a nice little setup. All right, guys, I went ahead and filled this up, so that way I don't have to check the transmission fluid when I go to start this up. So I went ahead and just filled it. Kind of leave the ring there. You know, it's not rocket science. Get up over here. Tell you what, they put a lot of threads on that. That should be all she roads right there. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. I'm gonna try to do this without getting. It's hard to keep the camera clean and show you guys his stuff. But anyway, I run that John Deere low viscosity high guard hydraulic oil, and I put a little bit of regular transmission fluid in it to give it a little bit of color. But you guys see the difference between those two? I consider this like a 1 quart, and I think that one's like either 1.5 quarts or 2. So it'll add that much more capacity to the system. At least that's what I'm hoping, and then hopefully that'll help it run just a few degrees cooler. This thing's got a pretty high stall converter in it, and I'll tell you what, she likes to build a lot of heat, especially if you're getting spirited when you're driving it around. There's a few other things I got here I was wanting to try because I'm not sure if it'll fit. See, I was going to have one of my buddies weld this dry shaft safety loop onto my ladder bar cross member there. Oops, I gotta remember to put those magnets back on. Alright, got my magnets back on there. But yeah, I was going to see if I can get this dry shaft safety loop. Of course, it'll have to be welded on if it does fit. So, see if I can get you guys in here. But right now, I think you guys are in the road. Come on, man. Let's see. So I was wanting something like that on here. I'm hoping you guys can see that. Of course, I'll have to be shortened just a little bit. But yeah, that's the idea right there. Not sure if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can get you in here a little better. Got you upside down right now. You got my view now. But yeah, so I'm gonna weld out there just in case I ever had a dry shaft failure or a joint or something. Yeah, I can see right now it's hitting my emergency brake cables if I shove it up. Guess it wouldn't be, that's just rub, as long as I don't rub the dry shaft, right? But I don't think the dry shaft in this thing, I don't think it goes up very much further than where it's sitting. This thing don't have a whole lot of suspension travel. So yeah, I do think that would work. Alright guys, I'm trying to get you in here. But that's what I have right now coming out of the fuel cell. This line right here. And then it goes to a fuel filter. And then it curves and goes to my fuel pump. Now I know I don't like it going right here because it kind of rubs a little bit, but it's on the top of the shock that don't actually move. So, but I'm trying to put that. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. It's like one of my very first videos. It's a fuel shut off. I don't know. I just think it'd be nice to be able to shut the fuel off on this thing if I ever had like a fuel leak, or I need to service the fuel pump, or get to the filters or anything like that. I could just shut the fuel off. Because, you know, this thing's got a 20-gallon fuel cell, and if I ever have an issue, we already know it's going to have a full tank of fuel when it does it. So, well, right now I got the tank somewhat drained. It's not completely empty. I'm hoping if I take that loose, hopefully no fuel comes out, or then maybe just a little residual that's in the hose here, and then hopefully we can see whether or not we can get that to fit in there. And with these race ramp cribs, man, I mean that's way up in there. I'm not used to it being up that high, so that's kind of nice. So I'm not sure if I'll record me removing that line, because if gas comes out, I don't want the camera in the road. And if I happen to mess up here, I don't want witnesses, to be honest with you. So I'll probably take that off and then give you guys an update if I make any progress on it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I came up with. I haven't put gas in it and checked for leaks yet, but hopefully you guys can see. I got loop there, and it's going to the fuel pump. That's about the best I got. I just gotta remember which orientation that that valve goes into. I guess when that arm is the same, going in the same direction as the fuel, that's open. Then to close it, you pull that down. That should shut the fuel off. There's a, like I said, there's a detent. There's a detent there that kind of locks it in the open and closed position, which makes it nice. Because this cart, there's like a little detent right there, and that locks it open. So nice little piece. I did have to put a zip tie on it. I hated doing that, but it kind of wants to move up and down when I'm pulling on this lever, because you know, there's a good bit of tension right here to pull that up and down. I just didn't want it to put an extra strain on anything, so just put a zip tie on it. That'll be easy. So if I need to come up in here and service that fuel filter, I just shut that off and cut that zip tie and hang it down. I left that loop on there because it'll be easier to service this. You just undo this AN fitting here, and the whole thing will come down to about, you know, out here where I can work on it. It's away from the tire. It's still under the frame. I don't think anything will hit it. So, see if I can give you guys a different view. From this side, maybe. I'm trying to get you guys up under here. It's kind of proving to be difficult to give you guys a different idea of what we're dealing with. Not sure if you guys can see that. So not too bad. I'm happy with it. Is it perfect? No. Am I saying that this is the right way to do it and this is the only way to do it and blah blah blah? No, I'm not a professional. I just like tinkering, but I think that'll work for my purposes. Alright guys, got her back on the ground, filled her full of gas, no leaks, so she's ready to go. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Until next time guys, bye bye.